One of the craziest, most ridiculous disasters in human history just so happened to take place at a Major League Baseball game. It's well documented that 10-cent beer night is a lesson both in how to not set up a game day promotion and in what an angry mob is capable of. But if this is your first time learning about what happened here, we promise you that all of this really happened. June 4th, 1974. The Texas Rangers are playing the Cleveland Indians in Cleveland. Plenty of baseball figures are here. 2 Hall of Famers were on the teams in this game. Oscar Gamble and his incredible afro were here. The American League MVP that year was in this game, and had his hat stolen by a fan on the field as he was playing the outfield, which you'll learn more about in a little while. Now, we're gonna do something a bit unusual for telling the story of 10-cent beer night. Meet Naturally Trash and Ashton, 2 friends of the channel. They volunteered to react to the story of 10-cent beer night, and we're gonna tell the story through the reaction and perspective of 2 people who know nothing about what happened. Think of me as like the narrator in a movie here. My voice will help guide the progression of the story, but you get to see 2 people learn about this unbelievable story for the first time. Alright, take it away, guys.
Just when you look it up, there's already something on Google. There's already a Wikipedia. 10-cent beer night was a promotion held by Major League Baseball's Cleveland Indians during a game against the Rangers at Cleveland Stadium. Did they just set up a bunch of beer cans for this picture, or did everyone just
most of them are
conveniently throw
Cokes,
them?
look.
Yeah, there's a lot of Coca-Cola. Like, this isn't even
It's
beer.
hanging out beer.
What really happened, 10-cent beer night, it was a special... Wait, I don't even know what word to use. Oh, there's a special discount on beers. Instead of 65 cents a beer, which is already cheap, I think, or maybe it was like normal priced in 1974, they were only 10 cents each for 12 fluid ounces. So like, that's a good amount of beer. And there was a limit of 6 beers per purchase. And there is no limit on the number of purchases made during the game. So someone could just go up and get 6 beers and drink them all and then come back and say, hey, can I get 6 beers? Terrible idea. I don't know who came up with this. Mr. Cleveland himself, probably. But it says during the game, fans became heavily intoxicated, culminating in a riot in the 9th inning, which caused the game to be forfeited due to the crowd's uncontrollable rowdiness and because the game could not be resumed in a timely manner. So we don't really know what they were doing for 9 innings, but at the end...
More of just like a circus.
There's a circus. But apparently the Indians had previously held such promotions without incident, beginning with Nickel Beer Day in 1971. So that was 3 years earlier and they had no problem. Why is it called Nickel Beer Day, but then this isn't called like Dime Beer Night or something? It's called 10-cent Beer Night.
A solid chunk of the people watching this video may have already known about the events of 10-cent beer night. What those people may not know is that there was already some tension between the Rangers and the Indians before the game.
Alright, in Texas, the trouble had started in the bottom of the 4th inning with a walk to the Rangers' Tom Grieve, followed by a Lenny Randall single. Blah, 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 blah. Indians retaliated in the bottom of the 8th when pitcher Milt Wilcox threw behind Randall's legs. Randall eventually laid down a bunt. Blah, 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 blah. Wait. Oh, this isn't blah, blah, blah. When Wilcox attempted to field it and tag Randall out, which he did successfully, Randall hit him with his forearm. Indians' first baseman John Ellis responded by punching Randall, and both benches emptied for a brawl. After the brawl was broken up, as Indian players and coaches were returning to the dugout, they were struck by food and beer hurled by Rangers fans. Catcher Dave Duncan had to be restrained from going into the stands to brawls with fans. Okay, so like they're just all immature, I guess, because they're like the players are literally trying to brawl with the fans.
They're throwing food and beer on them.
Six days after the brawl in Texas that we just talked about, Cleveland's 10-cent beer night promotion drew in about a little over 25,000 fans to Cleveland Stadium on a Tuesday night, which is double the number that they expected. So the Rangers quickly took a 5-1 lead. Meanwhile, throughout the game, that's a word I can't say. Crowd grew
Inebriated?
What?
Inebriated?
Inebriated? The inebriated crowd grew more and more unruly. Early in the game, Cleveland's Leron Lee hit a line drive into the stomach of Rangers pitcher Ferguson Jenkins. So this dude just got this straight knocked the wind out of him, dropped to the ground because he got hit in the stomach. Line drive, ball. Fans in the upper deck of the stadium cheered, then chanted, hit him again, harder, harder. That's mean. I don't know how that got started, but a woman ran out to the Indians' on-deck circle and flashed her breasts, and a naked man sprinted to second base as Grieve hit his home run of the game. This doesn't sound real.
Dude. Are you serious?
One inning later, a father and son pair ran onto the outfield and mooned the fans in the bleachers. Nice.
Dude, what?
As the game progressed, more fans ran onto the field and caused problems. Rangers first baseman, blah, 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 pelted with hot dogs. You get it. The Rangers later argued a call in which Lee was called safe in a close play at third base. Now at this point, everyone's intoxicated, hopefully not the players. The Rangers' angry response to the call enraged Cleveland fans who again began throwing objects onto the field. Someone tossed lit firecrackers into the Rangers' ballpark. You just brought them with you in case?
You've seen that tensions are high, and this crowd is already out of control, to say the least. In the bottom of the ninth inning, as the Indians put a rally together that tied the game, the crowd exploded, but not in a good way. The winning run was at third base. A .336 hitter stepped up to the plate. The Indians had an expected win probability of 61%. The crowd didn't give them the chance to see what would happen, and one of the lowest moments in sports fan history was about to go nuclear.
In the bottom of the ninth, the Indians managed to rally tie game 5-5 and had Rusty Torres on second base representing the potential winning run. However, with that crowd that had been drinking heavily for 9 innings, the situation finally came to a head. Now we're getting into the riot. This is where it went crazy in the 9th inning. The Indians managed to tie the game. A 19-year-old fan ran onto the field and attempted to steal Texas Texas outfielder Jeff Burrow's cap.
Well, a lot of the fans got a little rambunctious there after 4 hours drinking beer, and they just came out there trying to steal my hat and my glove and other things.
A large number of intoxicated fans, some armed with knives, chains, and clubs fashioned from portions of stadium seats that they had torn apart, surged onto the field. This is ridiculous. Is it just they turned into the Hulk from drinking beer? They just ripped the stadium seats apart and had not who brought a club into the game? Where did they get clubs, bro? And chains, bro?
How are they just tearing the seats out?
Realizing that the Rangers' lives might be in danger, Cleveland manager Ken Aspromonte ordered his players to grab bats and help the Rangers, attacking the team's own fans in the process. Riders began throwing steel folding chairs, and Cleveland relief pitcher Tom Hilgendorf. This is like a joke at this point. I'm sorry, Tom. I know there's some Hilgendorf stands in the comments. Hey, Hilgendorf. He was hit in the head by one of the steel folding chairs. Hargrove, after subduing one rider in a fist fight, had to fight another on his way back to the Texas dugout. Teams retreated off the field through the dugouts in groups with players protecting each other. Teams fled into their clubhouses and closed and locked the doors. The crowd it literally says the crowd pulled up and stole the bases and anything else it found. Why? What are you doing with the bases?
Antique, I guess.
Collectible. You think so? You think there's people that still have it and they have it on their wall?
There has to. Or maybe they tried selling it. Well, not it might be on eBay right now.
Were there 0 responsible adults at this time? Everyone just got blackout drunk and caused a riot?
Even the kids.
Yeah, there was literally that 19-year-old kid that just went and stole a hat. Bro, you're not even old enough to drink. Why are you doing this? The umpire called off the game because he realized it would not restore in a timely fashion. He, too, was a victim of the rioters as one struck and cut his head with part of a stadium seat. We need to see these stadium seats.
We have to.
There was no question that beer played a part in the riot. Wow, I wonder. Maybe. The next beer night promotion on July 18th attracted 41,000 fans, with beer again selling for 10 cents per cup, but with a limit of 2 cups per person at the reduced price.
Thanks guys for helping us out here. Something else that's worth mentioning, one of the guys who was part of that game-tying rally for the Indians was a man named Rusty Torres. Rusty played in 3 different MLB games that ended in forfeits because of riots. His teams went 1-2 in those forfeits. Based on the percentage of games he played in compared to how many forfeits he experienced, it's the same as if Derek Jeter was a part of 12 or 13 forfeits in his career. 10 Cent Beer Night will forever be remembered as one of the most insane nights in not just baseball history, but human history. For reasons completely beyond the control of those on the field, the Indians took a loss that day. In the standings, this ended up being a relatively meaningless game. The Indians finished 8 games under 500, and the Rangers missed the playoffs by 5 games. But those who were there and experienced it were part of one of the most significant baseball events of the 1970s, for all the wrong reasons. A final message to entertainment event planners: don't try this again.
Was there in your mind the possibility?
We have Childish Gambino here. He's going to tell us about 10 Cent Beer Night.
Wrist is too wet, hydroplane, not skate. Retired a Benz, I put her in a Wraith. My money long, I'm out Tonka. A spaceship as long as the wait for eternal to take. Whole lot of red and a whole lot of soda. That blueberry Faygo I'm smoking today. 20 days later, I double my bank account. Wells Fargo had to freeze for a day.